guys, Phil the Man 12 here with another build for the build series. This will be episode 2, how to build a kayfun. Now what I actually have a Russian 91 clone. We're gonna build it for a mechanical mod, not for a regulated device. I mean, it'll work on a regulated device, sure, but you'll be able to use it on a mech, which is really nice to be able to do. I know I've had some pretty good looking setups that were kayfuns with on some pretty nice looking mechs. So that being said, we're gonna turn the camera down to the table here and show you how to do it and talk about it. We'll bring the camera back up once we get it done. We'll vape it, we'll talk about it a little more, and hopefully you guys get an education on this, how to do it. I know I've seen some people that have kayfuns, actually quite recently, that somebody built them for them that didn't really know what they were doing, and that's kind of what sparked me to do this. The wicking was completely wrong. They were getting dry hits, you know, that kind of stuff. You don't want that with your kayfun. So we're gonna show you how to do it. It's pretty simple. Obviously, if there's any questions, please leave them in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to you. So we're going to dive down, and I'll be right back with you. Alright guys, so here we are. We got the got down on the table here. We're going to have a pair of pliers, a pair of scissors, cut cotton with, screwdriver for the posts, a pair of cutters, the rest of the kayfun itself, all these little bits and pieces, and we'll show you how it all goes together. A pair of tweezers to equalize coils, and a drill bit. And we're going to be using 26 gauge Kanthal for this build. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is wrap your coil. I'm going to do this on a 5/64 drill bit, which will be a micro coil. So we're going to do 7 wraps. First wrap doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And about a half a turn. And I'll explain to you why here in a second. We're going to take our cutters, we're going to cut the excess off. Take our pliers, grab a hold of that first wrap, and pull that out. Okay, now for a kayfun, you want the legs of your coil to be opposing each other. You want it to look like this. You don't want them going the same way like you do for a dripper. So what you do that way, whenever you put your coil onto the deck of the kayfun or Russian or whatever you're using, each lead is going in opposite direction, so you can wrap it around the posts. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna go ahead and make sure we got it centered, and we're just gonna literally take the lead and just wrap it completely around the screw. We're going to try to anyway. Actually, I think I'm going to loosen these screws up a little bit. Give me a little more room to work with. And this is where the pliers really come in, because it makes it a lot easier. I can literally just grab a hold of this wire with my pliers and kind of bend it around where I want it. Oops. Okay. So we got the first one. The first one's always the hard one. The second one usually just goes right on because it's already being anchored. And you just want to pull them kind of tight to the posts. Okay. Now, you want to take your screwdriver and just tighten it down. Now, right now, your coil kind of looks like crap. It's off to the side, it's all cockeyed. You just take, Kanthal is very forgiving. You can just take it, especially 26 gauge. Just kind of move it around how you want it to be. You want there to be a little bit of a gap underneath because that's where your airflow comes through. It comes through this side hole right here. Yeah, comes through these two side holes because I don't have the airflow screw in mine. Comes through there and comes right up through underneath the coil. So once I got that there, we're going to go ahead and take the cutters and cut our leads. Take it off, put it on the ohm reader. 0.77. Now that'll probably go down a hair once we equalize. But there's no shorts, because if there was, it would be higher or lower, depending. Go ahead and fire it, and that's not burning evenly at all. So we're going to take our tweezers and we're just going to squeeze nice and easy. I mean, with some force, but not crazy. There, that's what you want it to look like right there. Glows from the inside out, glows evenly. We're just gonna reposition just a hair. Make sure you got enough of a gap underneath of your coil for your airflow. And there she be, just like that. And lock the mod. Well, actually, I'm not gonna burn my hand. We're gonna let that cool off. I'm gonna have a vape. Okay, now that'll be cooled off enough. Usually with 26 gauge you want to give it about 10 to 15 seconds just to cool off. I'm going to put it back on our reader. .85. So that's not terrible. That's a little high, higher than I like them to be, but it'll be okay. So I'm going to put it back on the mod for now. I'm going to go around and those leads that we clipped off, we're going to just make sure that those ends aren't sticking out, because if they are, that'll cause a short. And we don't want a short. Still glowing good. Just gonna double check our connections are still tight. lock the device. Okay. Now you're gonna take. You know what? Let's use some Japanese cotton in this. I got some Koga here. We'll try this out. See how this works in a kayfun. We already got a piece cut. I'm just gonna roll it a little bit, twist an end, and pull it right on through. Then you wanna make it look like the Olympic torch, okay? You want it to look something like that. Then you're gonna take the bottom piece of your chimney. You're gonna screw that on. You're gonna take your scissors and you're gonna cut right there, right across the top, just like that. That's how much cotton you need for a kayfun. Then you're gonna take your screwdriver and you're just gonna poke it, nice and gentle, both sides. And what that does, you don't want to force it, but you want the cotton down where these juice channels come up on the side. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but there's a juice channel on each side, and that's where your juice comes in. And that's about what it should look like down in there. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our bottle of juice, going to drip one drop on the coil, and one on each side. And we're going to fire it. Make sure it still fires. And it fires. So we're good there. We're going to go ahead and put the top of the chimney on. Then we're going to take the bottom ring. This one has the center clear section. It's made of PMMA, so it will crack if you have a tank cracker style juice. Just be aware of that. If you like to use like heavy citruses or stuff like that, I would recommend just using either the stainless steel, or they do make a glass tank for kayfun. So basically all I'm doing here, I'm making sure all my connections, where everything's tight, because it's all sealed by O-rings. So you don't want it to be so tight you can't get it open, but you want it to be tight so it doesn't leak. Now this screw I'm taking out right now, this is your fill hole. So you take that fill screw out, set that there on the table, take your bottle of juice, goes right in there, just like that. And then you just squeeze her in nice and easy. Now you don't want to overfill it, because if you don't leave an air bubble, it will not wick properly. The kayfun works on the Bernoulli principle, where it's all pressure. That's all it is. That's how it works. So I'm going to take my drip tip out. We got it filled up. We're going to take a couple primer puffs. And we have a little air bubble, not a huge one, but there is an air bubble, so that's a good thing. Probably overfilled it just a hair. Yeah. Okay, so I think I got the pressure set. What we're going to do, I'm going to bring the camera back up top. I'll show you how to actually pressurize it the right way to get it wicked properly, and then we'll have a vape. We'll talk about the vape, and then we'll wrap her up. Okay, guys. So here's the kayfun once it's filled. You got these two air holes on the side over here. What you want to do is turn your kayfun upside down, and you want to blow through those air holes. Basically, you perform CPR on the device. Now, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, if it'll do it or not. If that air bubble will hop through. There it went. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's an air bubble that rides through. So, as long as you have an air bubble and you see it, then you're in good shape. We're gonna put the kayfun back on the mech here. Put drip tip back in. We're gonna vape it. Flavor is phenomenal. Vapor production, not so much. There's not a lot of airflow. There's not much you can do about it, unfortunately. I mean, it is what it is. You want to win cloud comps, build a dripper. This is good for if you're driving, you don't like to drip and drive, or maybe that's all you need. I personally, I have 3 of them. The flavor's excellent, but I don't know. I like blowing clouds, just my thing. But it is what it is. It's not bad. Now I have a 50-50 in this. If you want to use a high VG juice in a kayfun, you can. However, be aware that you will get dry hits. You can basically about every 2 to 3 hits, instead of exhaling out of your mouth like out into the open, you actually want to blow back through the kayfun. So, just food for thought. They're nice devices. I mean, they're pretty rock solid. Once you have them set, and you have your pressure set, and you have a good build in them, they're really hard to beat. I mean, flavor is so much better than, say, a Kanger or a Nautilus, but they perform like a tank, which is, it's subpar at best. So this is how you do it. Definitely, if you were just getting into rebuildables, this may be something you want to look into, because chances are you came off of a Pro Tank or a Nautilus, and you're just now starting to build. They're great for that type of user, but for me, I want to have stuff like that. It's just the way it is. So, that being said, this is how you do it. If there's any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And I hope this tutorial was helpful.